Before we begin, thank you very much to Jonathan C. for joining the Patreon campaign. Thank you very much for the support to help keep the channel going and all the daily content coming. If you want to support that, you want to make sure that the channel keeps going and keeps producing stuff for you to watch, then please feel free to click on the link to Patreon in the description below. Depending on the level, you either get shoutouts, you get access to exclusive uploads, including my old popular TJ TV series, or you can even get requests from me. So, that's my shilling getting all that out of the way. We're doing a video for me today. I am defying the algorithm by talking about Pokemon instead of transforming plastic toys. But Pokemon transform themselves, so I'm still in there. I'm still in their algorithm. I'm still somewhat in the vicinity. Please don't bury me. It was Pokemon Day today. Or rather, as of this recording, still is Pokemon Day today. And we had a brand new Pokemon Presents with a ton of new stuff and updates. So I thought, you know what? This is the only thing that I can really think about right now, because a lot of this was really exciting. So let's just go ahead and make that the video for the day. And we can just put the robots off until tomorrow. Now, I do want to make a few things clear before we begin. A lot of the updates, a lot of the announcements pertain to a lot of the mobile games for Pokemon. I am not going to be discussing those because, frankly, I have two. Out of all the mobile games for Pokemon right now, I have exactly two. One of them is Pokemon Go, which I rarely even remember that I have. And that one was, that mostly counts to like, oh, yeah, that's still on my app. That's still on my phone. Still have that installed. Let's just click that and we'll see what's in my area. The same 4 garbage Pokemon that are always in my area. Okay, close that. See you in a month. And then the only other one I have is TCG Pocket, because I do like a little bit of a virtual pack opening every now and then, so it tickles the brain the right way. They did announce a bunch of free stuff for that. If you keep logging in, they give you enough freebies to get like 10 pulls and things like that. Typical mobile anniversary stuff, so that's all well and good. And a new set just came out. So, okay, that's fine. That scratches the itch I needed that to scratch. Everything else, I don't know, like, Unite's fine. Pokemon Sleep, I really don't need Pokemon telling me how badly I sleep. I'm aware of how poorly my sleep is. So, we're going to focus on the stuff that, like, really caught my eye. We'll be talking a lot about the new games, obviously. But we're going to talk a little bit of the merch first, because this was one of the first things they led with. And on the surface, this thing is fascinating, because the whole idea is this micro-sized Game Boy with apparently Game Boy quality audio and cartridges that you stick in, and it plays particular Pokemon music. And when you stick the cartridge in, it actually adds the front side, like the screen view of the game that it relates to that music. So the battle theme, the Viridian City theme, etc., which is kind of a cool idea. Now, on one hand, it is kind of neat, you know, you get that satisfaction of, like, locking a cartridge in, you know, it sounds like the original Game Boy audio, so, like, it's very good for the nostalgia if you had the originals. That said, every single piece of music has a completely different cartridge, and the idea behind that is so that the screenshot on the back of the cartridge matches whatever music is playing. On the other hand, that does mean you've got 45 of these little mini red and blue cartridges to lug around or keep track of to make sure that you have all the available music options, which I think is a little bit silly. So I could have done with a little, like, a simpler option. I don't know what you would have gone with, but, like, it is kind of absurd to have that many of these little cartridges. At the very least, if you're going to produce that many, you need to do something to kind of, like, I don't know, thin it down a little bit. Like, give me a few of them that are Pikachu, yellow, like the special Pikachu edition. Give me a few in that color. That way, at the very least, they don't even have to be music tracks specifically from that version. At the very least, just let me know a little bit, like, at least, like, to tell the difference. Like, okay, all all of the red cartridges are from like early game. All of the blue cartridges are from mid game, and all the yellow cartridges are from end game. You know, so at least I have like some idea. It's easier to sort through at the very least. Or create some hypothetical green cartridges to match like the Japanese release a little bit. You know, or hey, just make some of the labels Japanese. Something, anything to break them up a little bit, because I'm dealing with. It's 45. So which means that, like, one of these reds and blues, there's a favoritism going on. One of these reds and blues is different. No, there's one extra red or one extra blue. I can't tell which, but it is, I don't know. I think it's a fun little gimmicky thing, but I think it's kind of silly. I think it could have been presented better. It's me talking about a toy, so of course it goes on for a long time. Let's move on to the other merch, which is a lot of merch based on the original scene in the game, which is the opening cutscene between Gengar and Nidorino. A match that is very one-sided, as Nidorino doesn't have a whole lot of attacks that hit Gengar. But it has ground type moves. But that said, it's a neat idea. Like, and I love that it's in like the original Game Boy sepia tone. Not just black and white. Black and white's easy. The sepia tone is like a lot more accurate to the original screen. Works out a lot better. It'd be really nice if some of this was still available. A lot of it got sold out immediately. The pins got sold out immediately. The more popular shirt sizes, including mine, got sold out immediately. And the shirts should be made to order print. Like, those should not sell out, period. So there's still some stuff, but like all the really nice stuff is already gone. So it would have been nice if they had actually, prepared proper quantity for that. Like, hope for a restock, I guess. In the TCG department, which we have had such a headache thanks to the new set being so hard to get, even from a distributor. They have teased that sometime this year we are going to be getting a specific Pokemon set that seems to be retro releases. Like, they teased a lot of old cards from the past, even in various languages, and it feels like they're going to do another nostalgia set. They have not really done one since XY Evolutions, as far as just like bringing back old cards as they were. So it's nice to see those. That will be a fun set. I can't wait for scalpers to completely dominate that market too. Jeez. You know, when collectibles and trading things used to be for fans and kids, and, it didn't just used to be a bunch of like, just like a bunch of useless chuds sitting at home with bots buying everything just so they can take advantage of people's, wants and needs. I hate modern internet shopping. I hate the modern market. But still, the set should be fun. We'll see how exactly it's presented when it's coming out. It's just sometime this year. They updated us on the FireRed and LeafGreen releases on Switch and Switch 2. These are download exclusive. There's no physical version of these games. And everyone kind of had the same question. Why are you selling them for $20 a pop when these could have been and should have been on Nintendo Switch Online? We got the answer to that. It's because these are going to be reworked to actually work with Pokemon Home. And because of that, it means that it links around with your other system, with your other Pokemon games on Switch, so that you can move Pokemon from these GBA games all the way up to Switch 2. They even showed off, like, yeah, if you want to drop them in Legends Z-A, go ahead. Which is kind of neat. Okay, I will accept that. I will accept that. So it's for sale on the console just because they wanted to add like other interactivity to it. Now, if they want to just dump some things onto Nintendo Switch Online, I would highly suggest the original red and blue versions, maybe gold and silver and Pikachu edition while they're at it, and crystal, that kind of range, like original Game Boy range. I think that would be perfect for Switch Online. But yeah, I think is fine for what it is. $20 isn't too bad for your nostalgia. Beats buying the original cartridge, I'll tell you that. What is coming to Nintendo Switch Online is Pokemon DX or XD Gale of Darkness. This one I'm actually fascinated by because I never got the chance to play. Like, I had a GameCube, but I was much more a PS2 guy at the time. I had the GameCube mostly because I always bought Nintendo consoles, and because I really, really wanted to, like, Mario and Zelda and, you know, the usual staples that would come out on that system. And Pokemon is among them, but for whatever reason, Gale of Darkness just never struck me. You know, I was just focused on other games at the time, I guess. But this way, I'll actually get to play it. It's coming out sometime next month. Don't have an exact date on it. I might stream this over on the Agent Magnetar Twitch channel. I might, because I've never played it before. I've heard good things. It's going to be fun to capture the first experience and share it with an audience, you know? Legends Z-A got an announcement of the brand new Mega coming, which is Mega Garchomp Z, which, okay, looks cool. I like it well enough. You can see the difference between the two. The new one is on the left, by the way, but the old one is on the right. Now, I really like Legends Z-A. We streamed literally the entire game. We streamed the DLC. If you want to catch up on that, Magnetar has a VOD channel that all of that has been uploaded to. I need more than this. I need more than just a brand new Mega every 2 months to keep me invested in that game. Like, I want maybe some expansion on the DLC or another DLC campaign. That I would be okay with that. I would really like to see, like, new costumes, because fashion is a big deal in that game, but I think a lot of the fashion options are unnecessarily limited, especially color choice-wise. There's so many things they could do to make that game more investable, like something that I would want to go back to over and over again, outside of just the loop of complete your Pokédex and compete through the ZA Royale. I would love to have excuses to go back and play. One extra Mega here and there is not an excuse to go back and play. So I just need that more gameplay. Just need more to do. Speaking of more to do, we got Pokopia updates. This game's coming out next week, and I'm super excited for it. I don't know if it's going to be one that I just, like, keep as my own chill game, or if I am going to be streaming it on the Magnetar channel. But oh, I'm looking forward to this so much. I like cozy games like this. Like, I got really into Animal Crossing when it came out on the Switch. 1,500 hours of getting into that game. And I loved my time in it. I've had trouble finding a game that scratches the same itch, you know, but I like games like this. You know, I like Stardew Valley. You know, I like Dinkum. I played for a bit. I like little crafty, like, exploration games like this. And it's totally not being fueled by the fact that one of the first Pokemon you meet in the game is Scyther. Totally not that. Totally not that. But we found out some new functions in the game. Rotom is there as a stereo, so you can play music. He's a music player in the game, which is kind of neat. You have a Greedent who can teach you to cook, so cooking is a mechanic in the game. And you can feed it to other Pokemon, find out their preferences, etc., etc. I don't know if it's just to make friendly with them or if there's a benefit to it. We'll see, but it's another mechanic they announced in the game. They also announced the multiplayer, so 4 people can share an adventure on an island. The fun thing is that you can actually have a Pokemon palling along with you. So if you have a favorite on your little town that you want to take to someone else's town, you can do that. I still don't know how much variation you can get from town to town. Change of decoration, change of layout. Is it more along the lines of an Animal Crossing where I can just kind of make it my own thing? Or is it more like Dragon Quest Builders where, like, as long as I have the material and the skills, I just build it where it's supposed to go? I'm not sure which is which yet. Hopefully the former. I'd like more options. But they are kind of indicating that, like, your towns are going to be different from each other, or else why visit anyone else's? but they did show off a few things you can do. Apparently there are some multiplayer activities. They showed off hide and seek, which at first seems kind of silly, but then they show that you can hide yourself as an object, which means you can actually play prop hunt, which is kind of neat. So that's fun. They also showed off that there is exploration elements to it, so now we feel a little bit more Minecraft in here. They showed us you like free building a giant Ditto on someone's town in one of the multiplayer features. So okay, you do have some things you can do multiplayer-wise, and you do have adventure stuff, so it's not just building up a town and befriending random Pokemon that show up. So in that, cool. There's more to the game than just like the cozy crafting. Okay, I'm more sold than I was before. I am super looking forward to the 5th when it drops. Okay, so now that the video is already going long for what this topic should be, let's actually discuss the main event, which is the announcement of Pokemon Generation 10 Winds and Waves. Now, it's important to note this is not coming out until next year. So a year's worth of extra development and polish, you know, when it seems like they already have the world built and the Pokemon up and going, that's actually pretty cool. That's actually really nice to see that there's going to be a nice long development cycle on this, because we don't want Scarlet and Violet to happen again. I loved playing through Scarlet and Violet, but I don't need a janky performance nightmare again. So we're immediately greeted by 2 Pikachus, which I want to say it's like Mr. Windchew and Ms. Wavechew. I want to say they just gave them those kind of silly names. You immediately get this tropical vibe that they're going with for this particular Pokemon game. So, like, it feels vaguely Alola, but you can tell, like there's something different about this one, too. The visuals are gorgeous. You know, like look at the reefs, look at the water. There's, like, really beautiful water effects in the trailer. Like, it looks like a roaring ocean, which is really, really neat. You've got big heights too, which I guess is the wind part of this. I have no idea what this tower is, but obviously it's like the important thing. It almost looks like a resort, or it looks like some kind of like, I was going to say some kind of like trading post or pier, because it has these like multiple entrances that are come from the water. I think it's literally just a resort. It does look neat. It does look neat. Look at the tropics too. Like the hanging vines and like all the greenery. This is really like, this is a big graphical step up from Scarlet and Violet, which is neat to see. It almost looks too nice. Like the environments almost are starting to get to the point where like maybe they're like a little bit too realistic, a little bit too detailed, because now we're getting away from the aesthetic of the Pokemon. I almost wonder if this is like trying too hard. And if we have frame rate issues because they tried too hard, I'm going to scream, because it might not be necessary for this aesthetic. But it looks cool. It looks cool. And then we had some underwater areas as well. We know from leaks that part of Wind and Waves was going to be exploring underwater, which is a neat little thing. We haven't been able to do that in Pokemon properly. I only hope that there's some way of exploring the sky as well. Like, it seems like if you have one game called Pokemon Winds, it would be really unfair to it to include an underwater exploration mechanic when you have a game called Pokemon Waves, because that seems like its thing, right? So we have, like, we can explore underwater waves. Can we do anything in the sky? Probably not, because it's a little bit harder. Like here you got vines and caves and coral reefs and all kinds of things you can throw at them. In the sky, what do you have? Like, well, that's a cloud, that's a cloud, that's a cloud, it's a dark cloud. So I'm getting my hopes up for something that won't happen. You know what? But it's all okay. It's all okay. Because Marini's in the game, which means I can have my favorite water type on my team. Because I make the same mistake every single time. Like, I end up picking the water starter and then forgetting, oh, right, I really like Marini's kit. So I can't actually have Marini on my team because I screwed up. Because I picked the water starter. We'll get into that in a bit. The one issue I had with the visuals we saw was it seems like the characters are the same smiling, wide-eyed doofuses they always are. This is like the part where it bugs me. Like, I keep hoping that they make the characters more expressive and I'm not just this like smiling idiot throughout the entire game. That's been my issue with like a couple gens worth of Pokemon now. Even in Legends Z-A, the character's a little bit more expressive, but still like usually with this exact like dull happiness expression on their face, right? So I'm kind of hoping it's not so stiff and rigid, that there's a little bit more expression to the characters. And pray that there's better fashion. Oh my god, every game gives me like clothing options. Rarely gives me anything that is like my style. And I know I'm sitting here in a Samurai Pizza Cats t-shirt. I know I don't have style in real life, but in game, absolutely, I want to look nice. Speaking of, we have 3 new starters. We'll finish off with those. So we have the grass type starter, Brout. So it's a combination of Sprout and Brow, and you can tell he's going to have a mighty brow on him at some point. It's a cute one. The last time they did a bird grass type starter, Rowlet, wasn't that long ago. It doesn't feel like it was that long ago. And I loved Rowlet. I loved Decidueye. I feel like this bird has a lot to measure up to. I have no idea. I have no idea, like, if this is going to be, like, a bird for me. I feel like I pick grass-type starters a lot. So I kind of, I'm on the fence. It's a cute Pokemon. But it's one of those where, like, I really need to see what it evolves into. Based on Brow being part of its mashed together name, I do have an idea. So this is the only evolution I'm going to take any kind of guess at because it's the only one I can pinpoint. So this is a type of bird of paradise. I can't remember the exact type, but it's this bird that off its head has these very long, like modified feathers, which tell me that doesn't look like a vine whip. Tell me that doesn't look like a vine whip. This is kind of where I imagine the starter is going to go. I feel like it's going to be based in this, though obviously this has got to be a much bigger bird than this one. But I get the feeling I know where they're going with this one at the very least. So we have that certainty. I'm putting a bet on that one. The other two, got no clue. Got no clue. I do know that the next one has claimed the internet already. Pombon is absolutely going to be the favorite this time. Look at that. I think they have found their niche with fire type starters. Just this look of pure joy and empty eyes. Just they're like behind those eyes, there is nothing happening. Like that brain is just full of like breeze. There's nothing going through that head. But it's a super cute Pokemon. It's a Pomeranian Pokemon, so hey, for all of you who liked having like an all-dog team in your Pokemon, you can just start with a dog now. And just try to accumulate an all-pupper team, which is very easy to do now. We have lots and lots of doggos in the Pokemon universe. It is very cute. We'll see like how that one turns out and how that one evolves. And then there's the one that confused me the most because it's Gekwa. Aside from the name always giving me a little bit of pause before I say it, Gekwa confused me because it's a gecko Pokemon, one of those like thick-tailed geckos. What gets to me about this Pokemon is, didn't we just have a lizard water type in Gen 8? Like, we just had this. Like, I think Rowlet was like Gen 7, if I remember correctly. I can't always keep all these gens straight. I will be honest. But like, Gen 8 had, like, Gen 8 had a water lizard. And now we have another water lizard 2 gens later. And now this is coming all after Froakie. So we're technically, like, out of, like, the last 4 Pokemon games, 3 of them are amphibian starters for the water type, which kind of leaves me wondering, like, what are you going to do with Gekwa that you didn't do with Inteleon? I mean, I assume it's going to be a thicker like thicker lizard. Probably evolves into something that looks more like a monitor lizard, or oh god, like a Komodo dragon. But I feel like this is going to be the one that stays on all fours. Everyone is always like, stop making them bipedal. I got news for you. A lot of times when animals evolve, we become bipedal. That's kind of like how evolution goes. You know, we turn these front things into arms eventually. So it's never bothered me so much, but like everyone kind of gets up in arms. Oh, stop putting them on all, keep them on all fours. Keep them on all fours. I feel like Gecko's going to stay on all fours. I think all three are really nice designs. I think all three have the potential to be really, really good Pokemon. I'm eager to see what they're going to evolve into, which means 4 months from now, we're going to find out the first evolution. Maybe 4 months later, we find out the final evolutions. Or maybe we just wait 2 months for a leaker to show it off. Whatever happens first, you know? So, from a long-winded video, from someone who normally does not talk video games, that is the Pokemon Direct. I am excited for what we have seen. It is looking very, very good. I am really, really excited for next week's launch for Pokopia. Really excited that Gen 10 is on the way, and it looks like they are like putting their best foot forward after Gen 9 kind of stumbled. So we will sit back. We have a long wait, but we will make it. We will see the Gen 10. But that is going to be it for me today. Let me know what your favorite thing from the Presents was. Talk some Pokemon down below. That's what I want to see today. And as always, thank you very much for watching. I will see you next time.
Hello everyone, I am Astral Agent Magnetar, a Tokusatsu VTuber, and I am streaming 4 times a week over on Twitch, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday afternoons, and a special late night one on late Friday/early Saturday. So come watch, come hang out, and let's make an impact together.